Gold's holding above some critical support. We'll take a look at the price of gold, silver, and platinum today. Plus, in the first part of the show, I talked to CEO David Skea, the CEO of Wealthstack, my new brand partner. We're going to talk all about their business. You'll find out a little bit more and learn a lot about that company. Of course, this is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. What is this? Look, if you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below. But if you're watching live, you get to enjoy everything we do here at Good Morning Stackers, your weekdaily live show all about gold, silver, bullion, economic news, live analysis, and all the fun stuff we do, including the Synchronised Slurp. That's where you grab a tasty beverage of your choice, people. Yes, freedom of choice is fantastic, and we slurp it within the first 1 minute of the show. Here we go. Slurp it audibly. It's the honor system. Got to do it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Slurp. My name is Joe Main. I've worked in the retail bullion industry, so major bullion dealers in Australia for 11 years. I've been a stacker for longer than that, and now I do this show. And I help you launch and grow on YouTube and other social media. I have various clients from all different walks of businesses. If you want to find out more about that, of course, send me an email at gmstackers@gmail.com, gmstackers@gmail.com. And I talk to my lovely GMS family. Once again, coming up in this show today, I will be interviewing David Skea, the CEO of Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Then we'll do the live gold, silver, platinum analysis. Use the time codes. That's the way to do it. You know what I need to do? I've got to do my GMS shout outs. Now, get your questions in for David Skea, the CEO of Wealthstack. Get them in now, because just in a few short minutes, we will be speaking to him. Right here, Hazza, GMS. Hi, stackers. We've got a bunch of people watching. Welcome to everyone from Wall Street Silver and Silver DJing Club on Reddit, from the Savvy Investors Club from Facebook, and also the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia forum on Facebook as well, and everyone else who just watches from internationally too. Time to put a like everyone. Hit that like. G'day, Joe. Pete Repeat, looking forward to hearing what David has to say. I agree too. And we'll talk more about it in just a second. GMS, hi everyone. Mark, Florida. Florida man is back. Knackers O'Reilly, done. You hit the like button. Well, that's exactly what I need. Morning all. Great. You got your questions in. This is fantastic. Good. Getting your questions in already. GMS will catch the replay too. Well, good on you. I love the fact you come in, you say hello. This is what this family is all about. Even though you're not watching the show, you come in and go, g'day everyone. Can't stay, but I'll watch the replay. How cool is that? We'll get that. That's fantastic. We'll get to that. Oh, great. Lots of other ones. David Williams says GMS. That is fantastic. Lance, GMS peoples. Excellent. And Paul Johnson, 1974. How old are you, Paul Johnson? Gee, I wonder. Welcome to the show. I don't think I've seen you live before. I may have, but I'm not quite sure. But if you're new to the show, welcome. And hit the big red subscribe button to join us. Desi, here we go. It's been a while. The Don is back. It has been a while. It was like last week or the two. It feels like forever. The Don. I haven't seen you in so long. GMS. Everyone. Joe needs a tie now. Yeah. Look, no. I haven't worn a tie. I wear ties at weddings. I think that's the only time I wear ties. Oh, and at gigs, at wedding gigs as well. Speaking of gigs, I'm going to quickly plug myself for just a second as I do. If you live in the Mildura, Victoria area, come see my band, the U2 show Achtung Baby, and the Australian In Excess show do a combined U2 In Excess show this Saturday. I'm driving 6 hours to Mildura to do a show there on Saturday night. And I might have some free tickets. So if you potentially want some free tickets, let me know too. But it's selling really, really well. Morning, everyone, says Dylan. And, you've watched the show a couple of times. And Debt is Great is in the house as well. That is absolutely fantastic. Okay, now, today, we are talking to David Skea, the CEO of Wealthstack. Now, Wealthstack, wealthstack.com, are my new brand partner. Of course, I've got Perth Bullion Exchange. They're the physical gold, silver bullion dealer based in Western Australia. Of course, they have a storefront, the whole deal. They've been my brand partner since the start, almost since the start of the show. And just this happened over the last couple of weeks, and I explained how it happened. And you can watch the previous videos. But wealthstack.com are my new brand partner. We've talked a little bit about them over the last couple of days, but we wanted to invite David on, the CEO, because you've got to learn more about the company. Get your questions in right now, and we'll talk about the program, etc. I will share the screen and I'll show you wealthstack.com. I'm actually going to show you my little dashboard as well. Then we'll just quickly bring on David. We're going to have a good old talk. This is Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. Gold is back. Save, invest, and transact in physical gold digitally with a Wealthstack account and a debit card. Now, the debit card isn't on board yet. It's coming soon. We'll talk about all we'll give David the frequently asked questions. But here's the quick stuff. 100% gold-backed token. So there is a token which is on the blockchain, but you've got to separate crypto from blockchain. Many just non-crypto based currencies, crypto-based companies are using the blockchain for immutable certificate of ownership kind of style. So this is what Wealthstack is. I think of it, and I call it, and I think David would agree, it's an unallocated gold program, just like you've seen many other bullion dealers and other programs do, except you get the added benefit, well, of really low fees, and we'll talk about those with David in a second. No storage fees, no transfer fees, of course, but also the fact that it is on the blockchain, meaning that your receipt and claim is actually immutable on the blockchain. You can prove it, okay? And they give you that proof by being on the blockchain. So there are other companies out there that, you might buy their unallocated program and then they send you an email saying, thanks, you now have 1 ounce of gold. And you go, okay. I mean, trust is everything, so you can just trust the company and that's fine. But Wealthstack go that one further and going, by the way, here's your 1 ounce of gold, but also here's your claim for it as well. And it can't be double spent. It can't be faked. It can't be forged. You get your extra security there as well. So we're going to talk to David right now. And here, just very quickly, here is my dashboard. And we'll go back to that in just a second. You can sign up for free if you want to start purchasing, etc. I think you've got to add, ID and all that sort of stuff you're going to need. But right here, deposit gold, sell gold, etc. And I'm going to refresh my screen just in case. Have I been? Anything coming through? Well, you never know. Just refresh the screen right here. And we're just about to talk to David Skea right here. So this is the dashboard. We'll go through that a little bit as well. But now I'm going to bring on David Skea right here. I'm going to do that and I'm doing that. So David, I'm going to unmute you. You were all muted. Now you're unmuted. There we go. And David Skea, you are here. Welcome to Good Morning Stackers.
Good morning.
You know what we have to do? Grab your tasty beverage. Grab your tasty beverage, please, sir. All right, ready? Here we go. Grab your tasty beverage in 3, 2, 1, and you have to slurp it, David. Here we go.
Okay.
Good man. Now, quickly, I'll get your questions in for David. David is the CEO of Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. And get your questions in for David. I'll pop those on the screen. I'll comb through them a little bit. But also let me know if the audio is okay. So people watching, if the audio is good, can you hear David? All that sort of stuff. And you're already getting, look at this. You're already getting, hi, David. GMS says Hazza. So fantastic.
Hi, Hazza.
All right. Excellent. David, Wealthstack is my new brand partner, but and I know all about you. I've crossed my T's, I've dotted my I's, but this is really to pop you on board to the stacking community. And I'll do my quick little speech and then I'll let you speak. I'll actually let you speak. What I really liked about meeting you and meeting everyone at Wealthstack is your commitment to really growing this, because it is a newish business, really growing this with the stacking community first. And I really, when we had our initial conversations, that was really good for me, because I feel that if you don't have the stackers, at least not every stacker is going to be on board and all that sort of stuff, because we're all humans. But if you've got the stacking community somewhat, on board and understanding it, that's great word of mouth. When you've got the stackers on board, that's a really good thing. So we're here to build trust and we're here to talk about Wealthstack. So first off, tell me about what Wealthstack is in your interpretation, because it's your business. Tell me about Wealthstack.
Well, yeah. Wealthstack is basically right now. It's a way to buy gold. It's basically gold at a touch of a button. So instead of having to go down to your local mint, buy physical gold, you can do so online. You can eventually you'll be able to have it delivered, redeemed, and everything else. But from a point of view, gold has never really been available, especially in our day and age. Obviously, when the gold standard was around, it was a currency, but um, most people like myself have sat there and had to deal with the general currencies that we have. And realistically, we looked at trying to create the gold standard, bring back the pre-1930s gold standard, so not the 30s to 70 gold standard when it was pegged, but actually the physical gold standard where you used to be able to walk into a bank, you'd give them your dollar note, they'd give you the gold that's basically attached to that note. We looked at creating that with digital convenience. And so, given that everyone's paying for things now on a debit card or through electronic transfers and so forth, we've created a platform which allows you to buy physical gold, hold physical gold, send physical gold, and pay for things with physical gold. We have a lot of things coming in the future. We're obviously just starting out using, in my opinion, the best precious metal. And we will be adding all the other precious metals as well. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have silver, platinum, and palladium on the system as well. And then we also will be providing the debit card should come online at the same time. And it will allow you to use not only precious metals, but currencies as well.
Okay.
And so we should have 15 currencies, the major pairs, on the system as well, and you'll be able to swap in and out of currencies, use different currencies in different countries, as well as spend with your gold, your silver, your platinum, and palladium as well. And
Fantastic.
so it's to bring liquidity back to a physical asset and allow you to move it around the world easily and actually have a physical asset there.
No, excellent. Now, this is what has excited me about Wealthstack. I love, and I'll quickly, reiterate what you just said. I love the fact that eventually, and it is part of the roadmap, and it is coming. The debit card to spend in gold holdings is just, or silver holdings, etc. When silver comes online and platinum, etc. That's very exciting for me. I personally love, because I've been in, as we've talked about, I've been in crypto since 2013. I understand the blockchain. I understand all this stuff. So I understand the fact that bringing the blockchain to the stacking community, or to the stacking world, to the gold investment world, precious metals investment world, is a great marriage, in my opinion. Again, there are people, and I understand it. Some people hate crypto. There are stackers that hate crypto. There are crypto that hate stacking precious metals. But you've got this great merging of the two. Many people are in both. And even if you're not in crypto and you understand the blockchain, though, it is literally just that extra digital security. As I said, it's that sort of claim of that receipt of claim. So that's number one. Number two, when we've chatted, again, I love the fact that you've been in precious metals yourself. I'd actually very quickly, I want to learn a little bit more about you, because we want to build the trust with the community, who you are, where you've come from. I know a bit about your background, but tell me about yourself, and then we're going to obviously answer a whole bunch of questions. I've got some questions for you, and just so you know, that'll be questions like, where's, how do you hold the gold? Is it really physically backed? And all that kind of stuff, those frequently asked questions that people want to know. But let's start with yourself. Tell me about you as a CEO of businesses, and what's your history?
Well, I think that's the hardest question that you're going to ask me all day. My background's actually in law. So I was a lawyer for many, many years, and dealt in tax. I've dealt in insolvency, commercial, corporate. I then shifted over to France and actually lectured in 2 MBA programs on international business law.
Now you keep talking. So you keep talking. I'm going to share the screen. This is actually of David's LinkedIn profile. So you keep going, and we'll talk about you when when we're sharing.
It's all on there. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
And I mean, more or less, the reason we kind of thought about Wealthstack was when I ended up coming back from France. So I moved back to Australia from France and took a job at EY in the legal department there. And on the way back, we obviously had to move our money back to Australia. And as most people would have experienced moving countries, the trials and tribulations that attach to moving currencies to those countries,
Mm-hmm.
and the issues of the wait times and the FX rates and everything else that you get. And so that was kind of how Wealthstack came about. My older brother and I kind of sat down and we actually both moved back to Perth at the same time. He'd moved back from Singapore, I'd moved back from France, and we both had the same issue. So we looked at obviously trying to rectify that issue, and gold obviously came up, and that's how I kind of started looking at gold. And I've always looked at the financial industries and everything else. I saw the big hole in the market whereby, this is pre-COVID, when you're looking at the indicators in the market, when your terms are shifting over, where you've got your 2-year bond or your 10-year bond, and they're actually inverting. And all of these signs I looked at and I went, well, there seems to be kind of a recession on the horizon, just from my personal opinion. And that was obviously pre-COVID. The recession never came. COVID came instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but I mean, these are the reasons we started looking into gold. And since then, I think gold then was somewhere around between 1,200 and 1,300 US dollars. And so when you're looking at it now, it's gone up a fair bit since
A little
then.
bit.
And so, yes, my background's law, but I've always looked at physical assets. This is never been a crypto buyer. I've never bought into it. Look, I see the value in it at times, but for me, the physical asset is what's important. And when you're dealing with a crypto, which is basically an algorithm, yes, there's value placed on it, but it's purely based on public sentiment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the swings that you're going to have up and down, and the volatility of it, and you can see that with Bitcoin, where it's you'll have a swing in 5 minutes of 17%.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're trying to create what we're trying to create, a new currency, being an old currency, the gold standard, you can't really have that volatility. So you need the stability of an asset backing it, the value of an asset backing it.
Yep.
And that is essentially gold
Yep.
as that asset. And that's kind of how we moved into it, from law into this. And obviously, because we're in a highly regulated environment, the legal background does help a bit.
Very much so. So touching on that, which I can see a few questions in the chat. Now you are obviously you're Australian based and you're based in Perth in WA, and so completely regulated by all the Austrac and ASIC and all that stuff. One question was this is from Lance. Lance says, "Hi David, GMS. What's the compliance behind Wealthstack, i.e., like ASIC, etc.? Do you want to talk about compliance and all above board stuff and all that there right now?"
Yeah, I mean, we obviously work with external lawyers as well on this. It's not just me looking at the compliance. I think it's because I'm not a digital lawyer, but essentially we've worked with our legal partners, and from a licensing perspective, this year when was it? Would have been early May. We got all our licensing. We were already registered as a bullion dealer and so forth, which is easy to do.
Yep.
And then you've got to put in your applications for the licensing in respect to digital currency exchange and independent remittance provider as well.
Yep.
And so we obtained all of them in early May, I believe. And so we are fully licensed. We tend to side on, more or less, look at the caution side of things, whereby we go, right, should we be doing this? Do we need the licensing? We're not going to do anything until we find this out.
Of course.
Right. And so we then go and we deal with everything, and we will make sure that everything is sound before we even touch on it. It's given the regulatory burden of Australia, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to establish in Australia. It would have been a heck of a lot easier to establish somewhere else. Because there's a lot of countries out there with more lax
let's call it
regulatory
relaxed
burdens.
laws. Yeah, relaxed.
And so instead of doing that and taking the easy road, we spent a lot of time actually looking into the compliance side of things. And going forward, obviously there's going to be regulatory changes.
Yep.
As we move forward, we'll deal with them as they come. And the goal is to work with the regulators themselves. So.
Good. And what I love about this is you have taken the hard road. And in Australia, everyone knows in terms of regulations and whatnot, it's the harder road. But that's actually a good thing because it builds the trust. You're not a company that's based out of the Seychelles and all the St whatever it is and all those places, right? You've done it here in Australia, and that's the best way to do it. Now, a couple of things I'll quickly mention. Of course, there is the desktop app, but it's actually mainly a phone app. So it's on Android and iPhone. I'm actually just going to very quickly, I'll share the screen again because I want everyone to find where it is. So give me just a second right there. I'll do that and I'll do that and I'll share the screen just so we've got it right here. So there's right there. So you can find it obviously on the Apple iStore, and that's Wealthstack, one word. It's technically by Alchemy Bullion. Now, Alchemy Bullion, David, is the sort of larger parent company as such. Is that correct?
No, Alchemy GSC is the parent company. So GSC. We basically we established Alchemy first, and that was literally how we were going to be branded until obviously we had an issue with someone in the US calling themselves the same things and doing different things to us. And
so you changed to both?
Well, they were more in development space and dealing with cryptocurrencies, and in respect to those cryptocurrencies being algorithmic.
Fair enough. So I'm just showing here. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just showing the Google Play Store here. Wealthstack, one word. There's the icon if you want to download it, and again iPhone as well. So it is mainly the phone-based operation. Really easy. Sign up for account, etc. We're going to go through some of the functions, etc. But we really want to talk about, obviously the big questions, and we'll get to some of these questions here. I'm going to be already asking some of these questions, so some of the audience questions I may skip over because I'm asking them myself, but let's talk about some of the big stuff. Okay, obviously when I first talked to you guys, I did the grilling session of all grilling sessions, and I was I'm surprised you walked away still walking. That's all I say. But you guys really stepped up and answered all the questions. But for the audience, is it real physical gold? Is it backed by anything, or is this is this all paper contracts and all that? Are you using leverage, or is it just, one-to-one physical gold? Tell us all about the physical side of Wealthstack.
Well, so the goal for us, I mean, we could have easily just gone to the paper market and gone, right, okay, we're just going to peg the token, right? We can look at it and go, okay, well, this is going to be 30s to 70s gold standard, where you can't actually touch the gold, you can't feel the gold, you can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have redemptions online yet. With those will be coming. But yes, it's 100% physical gold. It's LBMA 49 bars. We don't touch basically any other gold. And essentially what we do is we buy our gold from our wholesale provider, an LBMA, a member of the LBMA, and we then store that with another LBMA member. We only deal with LBMA members from all of our services.
Just for the non-stackers watching, the LBMA is the London Metal. I can never remember. What's the
London
LBMA
Bullion
again?
Market Association.
Thank you. I should know that after working 11 years in the thing. I always forget it. But yes, so
and essentially they dictate the standards as to what investment gold is and how to store it and how it should be refined and so forth.
Yep.
And so we deal with these partners, and then we store the gold, and we obviously sell the gold through selling the tokens to individuals and everything else.
Yep.
And as our gold starts to go down and users' gold starts to go up, we are then buying more gold, and it just keeps cycling through. So the gold
Yes.
that we obviously source is LBMA 49 bars.
Yep. And as some people know from watching this show, I've given, videos before of secrets of the bullion dealers and how they operate and all that. So we talk about something called hedging, and you just kind of touched upon that as such, which is when a bullion dealer sells, like a physical store sells a whole bunch of gold in a day or a whole bunch of silver. They then have to go out and buy, literally from mints and wholesalers around the world, actual real physical metal to back what they've just, to replace what they've just sold, because they want to be, fully one-to-one. They don't want to play the spot market. And that's exactly the same thing. If you sold, 10 ounces worth, 100 ounces worth of gold in that day's trading for people buying, you would then have to go out and, call your wholesaler and go, we need X amount of gold to back what we just sold, correct?
Not to back what we've just sold, because that's already... we're selling the physical gold. It's
sorry, because that's right, because you already have the holdings to replace
increase your reserves, so
right.
so you can keep selling. Right?
Yes, correct.
Otherwise, eventually you're going to run out of gold to sell.
Okay, thank you.
And if you don't keep replenishing your own reserves, it becomes difficult.
So everything's already fully backed, but then you've got to then replace. If you're adding more into the system, more buyers into the system, then you're going to replace. Yeah, got it.
And to cover us as well in respect to the gold stored, obviously you can, with our system, we will be audited. We will attend to physical audits of the gold holdings twice a year from an external party as well. So there's no bias and everything else that goes with it. We will release all of those reports on our website anyway. Yep. The goal is to be as transparent as possible. We also can, basically get an update every single day from the storage facility as to how much gold is in there and everything else. Yep. And through the blockchain, and this is why we use blockchain, you're able to determine exactly how many coins or tokens have been minted, right? Yep. In that sense. Right. So you can then go, okay, well, you've got, 10 gold coins, right? There must be 10 grams there, or you've got 10,000, it must be 10,000, and so forth. And you can marry that up and go, okay, well, yeah, they're equal. If they don't equal, well, we have a big issue.
Yep. Right.
And, that can't really happen on the basis that the gold is sitting in the vault that we're selling. So if we sell it, it's already there. And the system doesn't allow for us to sell anything over and above what we currently have.
Yep. Excellent. So, I'm going to quickly go through some of the frequently asked questions, and I don't think I've showed this page yet of the website. I'll quickly show this, and then we're going to answer some questions. We've got some questions, some really interesting ones, actually, so we'll get to those in just a second. But I'll just share this screen, and we'll go back here. So just for example, because and we'll just give the basics of it. When you buy through the phone app, or when you buy through the desktop app, and again, that's the desktop app right here. This is my personal dashboard right there. What happens is you get right here, you get the WXAU token. Okay, and so that's the WXA token, which is on your phone app, on your desktop app, etc., and that equals 1 gram of 99.9% pure gold right there. So what does XAU stand for? So will you buy 1 gram of gold on? You pay for 1 gram of gold on the Wealthstack app, and that gives you 1 XAU, and you can buy, as there's a few buying limits, I think, from memory, but there's actually minimums. So you can even get, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but you can buy a minimum, so you can buy less. You can get a fraction of 1 XAU. Is that correct? Because you can buy a minimum of $10 worth of gold.
$10 worth of gold is the minimum that you can buy. Just so all the viewers are aware, the WXAU will be changing names to
Okay.
just WSG, Wealthstack Gold,
Oh, cool.
which will make it a lot simpler. We'll be building into the system other mechanisms to see it in grams and ounces and everything
Yep.
else.
Yep.
So it's easier just to hold it as
Yep.
WSG. And yes, you can buy $10 is the minimum that we have as a limit, and realistically, you can buy as much as you want.
Yep. Yep. Fair enough. And again, it's backed 1-to-1 with real physical metal. And at this point, and this is a new company. At this point, you can of course sell it anytime. You can sell it back for cash. So if gold goes through the roof tomorrow, and you want to sell the bunch of your WSG, your tokens, which are backed by real physical gold, then you just sell it on the platform. We're going to talk about the fees in just a second, which are ultra low, which is one of the other reasons why I like Wealthstack. But then later on down the track, not too far down in the future, given everything rolls the way it should do, then you can redeem for actual physical gold, and you can also, once you get your debit card, you can spend those gold tokens, which are physically backed, anywhere you want, where that takes like Visa or MasterCard or whatever it's going to be. So what I wanted to do now was go through again those frequently asked questions, but what I'll do is I might open it up to the crowd. Are you ready for the crowd?
Sure am.
Good. Let's do a couple of questions here. So, David, let's go through. I may have answered some of them, but Living Adamant asks, I'm blowing out here in terms of the lighting, but let me turn that off. Question: when silver basically will Wealthstack be adding silver or XAG, silver and gold and silver swaps? Well, I imagine once silver is online, then you'll be able to just swap in and out of stuff when you want, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's we've got all the assets online. You can swap in and out of currencies and assets.
Yep, fantastic. That's the thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about fees because this was the big thing. We're going to again go back to the frequently asked questions page right here. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Love your work and loving all the questions coming through. But this is one of the big ones. Where are we? The fees. Now, as I said the other day, let's see, Wealthstack fees. Well, we'll just talk about it. Here we go, right here. So, talking about it in terms of stacking terminology. And as I was saying to my viewers the other day, you're creating this this program, and this business is for everybody out there. It's for the non-stacking community. You want to reach millions and billions of people, preferably, but also the stacking community needs to understand the terminology. So the fee structure is pretty simple, and I'll just tell you what it is. To buy gold, it's spot plus 1%. And I've got some questions about that. Spot plus 1%. And if you want to sell back your gold for, cash or not redeem it, but sell back your cash, it's spot minus 0.5%, which is that's a very small spread, really small. Buying gold. Imagine buying gold in a minimum of $10. Again, a token which is physically backed, and you can redeem it for cash, and then again later on redeem it for physical, but for spot plus 1%. But the very interesting thing, unlike a bullion dealer where the minimum gold that you can buy at a bullion dealer would be 1 gram of gold, some companies sell this tiny little 1/100th of an ounce, but it's so tiny you can hardly see it. But basically 1 gram of gold is the main thing that gold dealers would sell, is the smallest fraction. But you can buy at minimum $10. But the thing is, you buy at a physical bullion dealer, you're paying spot plus, I don't know what kind of fraction. The kind of premium is very, very high for fractional gold. Now, having said that, I'm a stacker. I've been a stacker for a very long time. Of course, you're paying that extra premium, the 20%, the 25%, something like that for really fractional physical gold, because you're getting it in the physical form, of course. So we all understand that. But imagine just the non-stacker, the normie, the person who wants to diversify or just buy little bits at a time, buying a minimum of $10 $10 worth of gold for spot plus 1%. It's a ridiculously low, ultra low spread and fee, and then selling back at just spot minus 0.5%. So my question to you, how the hell can you do it for so cheap? Why can you do it that? Tell me. I need to know.
Well, the goal is to keep the spread as small as possible. We've based this business on a mass user base. So we are looking at putting this out there to the masses to give everyone access to gold, give everyone access to all the other precious metals, and the freedom and truth behind actually moving wealth around the world. And obviously, you get 1 million users doing it. That 1% is enough to keep the company running and everything else.
Yep.
And so for us, it's a matter of being fair, right? We're not looking at trying to. I mean, we obviously need to make money. We're a business. We're not, doing this all for free.
Yeah.
But essentially, it comes down to, we're not taking the mickey out of anyone. We're not going to keep increasing fees. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. But it's, when people are looking at the financial crisis on the horizon or whatever it be, when you watch what happens to the premiums, and this happens around the world, it doesn't just happen here in Australia, the premiums that go on top of the spot price of gold just keep going up and up and up and up and up, to the point where, there's times where people are charging 15-16% over spot. And you're going, well, you're taking advantage of people here where, there's a time of crisis, there's a huge demand for it. Yes, the price can go up and everything else, but your margin's going up as well, right? And so for us, we just look at being fair. And we charge the 1% on the purchase and 0.5% on the sell. And with the redemptions, there's obviously no fee at all with regards to, there's no sell fee or anything like that.
Now that's interesting. So because other companies that have unallocated or similar kind of programs, they charge like a fabrication fee or a barring fee or something like that.
Yeah, there's so we obviously looked into a lot of people who have who buy and sell gold and the competitive market and everything else. And I've always found that term quite funny, fabrication fee, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you've got gold sitting there that is meant to be backing what you actually are providing people, what fabrication fee is there? Because ultimately it's already there. You shouldn't have to fabricate anything.
Right.
So I don't understand what the fabrication fee actually is.
Right.
And so when you start looking into it, you can determine that a lot of these places, they'll have terms such as, we can use all of our bullion for all of our bullion services. And you go, but hang on, isn't that bullion meant to be backing what you're actually selling? But if you look at terms and conditions fairly closely, they specifically state that gold can be used for any purpose by the bullion dealer themselves. And so for us, we wanted to stay clear of that and have the bars that are meant to be backing it actually there. Redemptions will come, there will be kilo bars initially.
One of the questions,
right? That's what we will start with. And I've been asked that question a lot. Can I go and get an ounce? Eventually, yes, we will allow for the redemption of ounces, and we will work that down. But from the very kickoff of allowing redemptions on the platform, or actually building the redemptions through it, it'll be kilo bars, just from a purpose of trying to navigate a global business of moving gold around and everything else. Dealing in smaller portions is a lot more difficult. And
it's also more it's expensive for you as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, and to keep particularly for the gold, to keep a 1%, spot plus 1%, it would be, I would find it difficult in the beginning to do spot plus 1%, and then someone can redeem for 1 ounce for no extra charge. Yeah. That's difficult, but it would be doable down the track. I can see once the business is much more which is global dominating.
Yeah, and so like as I, as I said at the beginning, we're starting out. We're trying to provide a service to as many people as possible. We're trying to do the right thing by people, but we've got a lot of work on the horizon that
Mhm.
we need to accomplish, as well as add to this system.
Yep.
And there should be a lot of movement with Wealthstack over the next 6 months, I would say, whereby we'll be obviously adding all the new assets, as I discussed, adding the new currencies, adding the debit card, the redemptions. We're going to be adding delivery, door-to-door delivery as well. Now,
That'll,
with the door,
there'll be a cost on that, I'd imagine.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But we don't take any margin whatsoever on the cost. So
Okay.
we provide you our wholesale provider's cost. That's what you
For
will pay.
shipping, for shipping. Right.
Yeah, we do not
Right.
take any form of a clip on that.
And with
We will
redemptions,
also,
sorry to interrupt. With redemptions, they'll be able to, and this is what you were telling me. Later on when redemptions do occur, let's say you've got enough, you've got about a kilo's gold worth, or whatever that is in silver as well. When silver comes on board, it can be as simple as if you live in Perth, for example, you could go and collect it at some of the major places like the Perth Mint, for example, or if you're in Melbourne, you might be able to collect at a big outlet there or a store or whatever. How does
yeah.
that?
So because we use LBMA partners and so forth, we can loco swap quite easy from our vaults,
Okay.
right? And so we will basically loco swap to the location where the redemptions are
Right.
and allow for those redemptions. And then it's a matter of having your ID and us verifying that it actually is you.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll also provide for Christ. We got global remittances coming, FX trading. We're creating business accounts, sophisticated trading accounts on the system as
Hmm.
well, where you'll be able to put, basically stock prices on it
Okay.
for buys, sells, and everything else.
Right.
Um, we're building in soon so currently you can only put money into the system through a debit card or a credit card.
Yep.
We're obviously putting in the electronic funds transfer as well,
Yep.
which you then don't have to worry about any card fees and everything else that
Sure.
your providers give you. Yeah, and then we will also be building in a weekend trading for precious metals market,
Okay.
and
And
so
I'm going to share the
building that
screen
in.
right. I'm going to share the screen right now because there are some. If you want to buy gold during the trading hours, there are some trading hours, and I'll just actually share that screen right now, and you can continue to talk about that. Let me share that screen. The trading hours for if you want to buy. Currently, the gold market trading hours available to users are 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday to
No,
Saturday.
no,
Is that
eight
correct?
eight to 8 to 7 a.m.
8 to 7
So
a.
8 a.m. to
Oh,
seven
sorry,
a.m.
a.m.
That's Eastern
Sorry.
Standard
Oh,
Time.
so there's only a closure.
So
There's only a 1 hour closure.
is
Oh, I
is a
see.
1 hour closure.
My apologies.
Um,
So Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. till 7 a.m. Okay, and then you've got your different time zones there as well. So check out the frequently asked questions page on Wealthstack. If you go to wealthstack.com, everyone, and then you scroll down to the very bottom of wealthstack.com, all the way down here, and then you see in the bottom left-hand side the frequently asked questions page. You can see those trading hours. Okay, yep, great.
so we will be building in 24-hour all year round trading.
Cool.
Now, obviously, during non-market times, so like weekend trading and everything else, there may be a bit of a higher spread just from a risk perspective
Of
when
course,
we build that in.
of course.
Um, but again, for us, we want to be as transparent as possible, and we're always happy to basically tell everyone exactly what we're doing.
Excellent.
Um,
Now, on that, we have a question from Debt is Great. And a couple of questions. One, this is what happens? So this is a perfect question, and it's a very legitimate question. What happens to tokens in the event Wealthstack ceasing to exist? It's the old What if the company goes under? What if the company goes bankrupt? And the second question to there is there taxation of gains? But we'll address the first question. What happens to the tokens in the event of Wealthstack ceasing to exist?
So if we went bust tomorrow and you hold tokens, because we don't have physical redemption, the gold would have to be sold and you would get your money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's basically worst case scenario for everyone. When we have the physical redemptions, then basically if we went bust tomorrow, you would be able to take the possession of the physical gold through the redemption.
Yep.
If we're only allowing kilo bars and you don't have enough to take a kilo bar, well then, say you got 1.5 kilos, you could take the kilo bar and then you'd have to sell the other portion of it and take the money back.
Yep.
That's essentially it.
That's correct.
The whole premise behind it, and this is something that we looked into the regulations on, is initially the regulations were put out there where Wealthstack actually had to own the gold in order to provide the service and everything else, just due to the regulations. We pushed against that on the basis that it's not our gold to hold. You're buying the gold. Ownership is your gold. And
so who owns? That's it. So that's a great question. Who actually owns the gold? Who owns the gold?
The user themselves, right? And so that's the way that we've done it, whereby the regulations obviously changed a lot after FTX debacle. And then we were able to say, right, great, we can finally allow for the customers to hold the gold. And that's what we wanted all along. And so it kind of worked out in our favor, the whole FTX debacle. So if you buy gold from us, you have the ownership. We provide you a certificate which you can download directly from the app of your holdings, and we store it for you. Basically, that's essentially it.
And the second question was, and we all kind of already know this answer, I guess, but is there taxation of gains?
Yes.
Yes. It's
there is. I mean, it's a physical asset, right?
It's under the same CG capital gains tax laws.
It's an asset, and there's capital gains tax on it. Yep. Now, later down the track, we've already discussed this internally. We will be looking at building in the kind of a quasi taxation play, whereby we will look at building an algorithm into the system when you are buying and selling out of gold, what buying and selling you should be selling out of, right? So if you bought something here and the price was up and down, and bought something here and the price was up and down, what gold are you selling, right? And we want to build into the system something that will be more tax effective, to assist the users themselves and say, right, okay, I need to pay for something with gold, right? Should I be paying with this gold that I bought then, or this gold that I bought here? And it'll work out the best scenario for you.
Wow. And out of interest, just so everyone knows, because we did have this private conversation about it. Lawyer, but you've dealt a lot in actually taxation, etc. So you really know your stuff with that. And from memory, from what you told me, and I think people will get a real kick out of this, you actually, for a long time, were a taxation lawyer in terms of actually pushing back against the ATO themselves in favor of individual clients or companies. So, for example, if I had have received a massive tax bill from the ATO for some reason, which I have no bloody idea why, I would actually contact you and go, I just got this letter from Thingo, and then you would read that and go, well, they're trying something on here. Let's so you're actually kind of like a tax lawyer for a while for the people. Does that sort of summarize what you did?
Yes, I didn't work for the ATO or the Australian government solicitors. It was, we were private practice working for corporations and individuals. And there's, I see there's a question: do the gains get notified to the ATO like bank interests? No, we don't have a direct link with the ATO and provide them with any detailed. Obviously, if there are gains, you need to declare them.
Yep.
I will not say anything other than that. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, basically with our system as well, you'll be able to download your full transaction history if you choose to. And this is something we looked at trying to make things as easy as possible for the end user.
Yep.
And yeah, we're still working on making it easier for you.
All right. I have a couple more questions here. Something about, where are we? There was something about self-managed super, something or other. It was something about, there we go. Matthew asks, compliance reporting for self-managed super funds?
So, I mean, it would work the same way as the self-managed super funds basically buying gold,
Yep.
right? So, you know, any super funds can actually buy physical gold if they want to. They can store the physical gold, and
Yep.
it's an investment for the self-managed super fund. I'm obviously not going to provide you with tax advice on it because number one, I'm not a practicing lawyer anymore, given
Right.
that I started Wealthstack.
Right.
Um, and so, yeah, I would suggest getting obviously legal advice in respect to the tax if you're worried about it. But
Yep.
ultimately, we we provide access. Well, we currently provide access to the system for individuals. When we start moving into creating the business accounts and so forth, there is a lot more compliance that goes with that in respect to knowing the ultimate beneficial owners of the companies as well as the trusts and things like that. So there are obviously some things that we need to work through in respect to creating these business accounts, what information we are required to gather and everything else to
Yep.
ensure that we're compliant. And that's what I was saying before. We won't release the option for business accounts until we're fully comfortable with being compliant with the system and everything
Right.
else.
One question here. I don't actually understand that myself. What system will the tokens, I guess, be on? QFS? Question mark. I'm not sure if that you understand that question, but I'm actually not sure. QFS?
What do you
What's
mean by what system? Do you mean what like are they ERC20 tokens or
good
uh,
question? But I don't know. But are they ERC20 tokens, or what system will the
yeah,
tokens be on?
yes. I mean,
No.
they are because we looked at them being, yes, the physical gold and everything else. Eventually, we may look at actually allowing them to go onto other exchanges.
Oh, sure.
Should, but this is for much later down the
Yeah, but
track.
at the
If
moment the
you want to
tokens
provide
are
that.
transferable. This is a great thing. And we mentioned this at the start. Um, buy your gold. If you want to gift gold to someone else, they can start a wealth stack account, and you can send the gold tokens to them again, physically backed. One to one with real physical metal. You can send it to them free of charge through either the two phone apps on iPhone or Android, or through the desktop app. So there's free transfers. You can gift people gold, send it to them, pay people with gold if they've got a wealth stack account. That's actually now I love this. I'm just thinking very interestingly that could be a way to just pay people every just hey, you want to buy my car, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, you want to. I mean, again, I'm not a tax lawyer and all that sort of stuff, but paying people again in gold, and again you'll be able to do it with the debit card eventually. Pete Repeat asks, will the card be able to be used anywhere, ATMs, etc.?
Yes, you'll be able to withdraw from ATMs. You'll be able to use it. It's pretty much anywhere on the planet. So as long as they
Wow.
accept Master and Visa card, the goal is to make it as usable as possible, and you'll be able to do it globally as well. There's obviously, depending on the jurisdictions, there are restrictions and so forth. We will be, we're currently live in Australia. The next step is to push it into the UK and into Europe. So we're currently dealing with the compliance side of things there, and we hope to be able to do that soon. And once we push into Europe, or UK Europe, we will then look at obviously the Americas and a lot of Asia and so forth. And so this is obviously we're looking at the longevity of the business and growing it as much as we can.
Excellent. Now, okay, so the AP Valentini has just said, and David's also, so QFS means the Quantum Financial System. Uh, Short answer is no idea.
The quantum financial system, as
Yeah,
in
that's
like
it.
the platform itself.
No, I think they're talking about. I think this is probably a larger discussion. It's more of an alternative potential system that some people believe that we might go to later on down the track because of large economic uncertainty, for example. So I think that's pretty much what they're saying there. I guess the short answer, well, from obviously you're not sure, and I guess we don't. No one knows.
I think, yeah. So I think maybe if
Who
I'll
knows?
try and answer this off the cuff.
Oh
But
well,
but
I don't even know the answer. So yeah, so
yeah,
David, this David's opinion, and I think we'll leave this question. There's no really point answering this question. David believes QFS is a BS conspiracy theory. Okay, so we've all got our opinions on what the on the QFS might
not
be or
this
might not
David.
be.
I'm not saying anything.
No, the other David, David Williams, just here. Yeah, I just if that's a thing, who knows? So the short answer is no idea if it's even a thing. Are there any last things that do you think we need to cover before the final questions? So get your final questions in for David, and then we'll let David go, and then we'll do the usual gold, silver, and platinum price analysis that we do here at Good Morning Stackers. Any final things? I'm going to boil it down to in the most sort of common denominator sort of stuff. And again, thank you so much for being on the show, and I really appreciate that you guys came on board as a brand partner, but also you did it on my show because I go out to stackers first. And again, you're wanting to build the trust with the stackers first, and then they'll spread the word to maybe their normie friends and family who don't want to buy these weird physical coin things that people do. Oh, you're a coin collector. No, we're stackers. But even if stackers out there go, well, look, Wealthstack isn't for me, that's okay because it might be for your brother, your sister, your kids, your whatever, your uncle, your auntie, etc., who don't really understand the whole stacking thing. This is a very convenient way, particularly with the two phone ups on iPhone and Android, of buying real physical gold with a minimum amount of $10, getting that token, which again is on the blockchain, so it's immutable claim of ownership right there. And as you said, David, with Wealthstack, they actually own the gold. It's not the company that owns the gold. They actually own the gold, physically backed one-to-one real gold. Eventually down the track, of course, you'll get physical redemptions and the debit card as well. And that's not too far down the track, assuming everything goes well. And that's the way I break Wealthstack down for the stacking community. I think for the stacking community, if I were, not that I would try, but if I were trying to convince them to get into Wealthstack themselves, I would say, look, it's another method of diversification. There are going to be those people who go, hey, if I don't hold it in my hand, then I don't own it. I've never been of that. I've had unallocated on other programs, etc. I'm certainly going to have Wealthstack gold and silver as well, particularly silver when that comes out too. But I love the fact that I can buy a minimum. I can just spend $10 and I get real gold, which is owned by me and held by you guys. So that's kind of the way I boil it all down. And diversification for me is also a big play. So I think diversifying some of your investment portfolio into the real physical stuff, which you have either in a safe at home or somewhere, where you're safe, where it is, but also in a form such as Wealthstack, like it is an unallocated gold program. Now, that's the way I boil it down. And tell me, first off, is there anything you think I should add to that? Anything else you think the stacking community should know about Wealthstack?
We will also be building in fully allocated accounts as well into the system. We know that people want allocated accounts as well.
Yep.
The the application, the system, things that we're looking at adding. It will be constantly evolving and changing. There will be updates to the app constantly as well. It's very, very new. The application, we've just released it,
Yep.
and there's going to be comments from people as to how it should operate, what they would like on it, what they wouldn't like on it, and we will update the app and we will add things to it, and obviously change and evolve as we move along.
Yep.
Currently, as it sits with, it's got 3 cards up there, being 3 assets: AUD, USD, and your gold account.
Yep.
When we add another 15 currencies and all the other precious metals, well, you can't have a huge list of them. So obviously the look, feel, everything else will change with that. We'll be, I think, forever updating it.
Cool. Someone's asked about insurance. Obviously fully insured?
Yeah, fully insured. Obviously, because we store, everything, with LBMA vaults and everything else. So they've got their insurance for the physical gold as well. We've got our insurances, and we try and be as risk averse. That's the simple way to put it. We try and be as risk averse as possible. So as long as we can.
So go ahead, David. Sorry.
Yeah, as long as we can limit the risk down for the end consumer as well, that's what we'll do.
Fantastic. We've had a question here. It might not be something you can answer straight away, but Snackers O'Reilly said, any benefits for foundation members or subscribers for Wealthstack? So basically, it's like, are there any perks that are going to be for these guys watching now if they sign up for an account? We haven't talked about that, but I don't know. You
possibly.
You never know.
That's all I say. Possibly.
You never know. We've got a couple of questions. I think what I might get to do, if someone has a question about the workings of the app or an issue they're having, or I tried to buy this but it's not working and all that kind of stuff, what's the best way, rather than asking through here right now, like putting you on the spot, what's the best way that they can reach out to us, sort of more technical? I tried to do this but this didn't work and all that kind of stuff. What's the best way?
Yeah, is just to go to the contact page on the website. Yeah, and go from there, or the FAQs as well. If they're having trouble, check on the FAQs. But yeah, you can always contact us, and we'll attend to any questions and everything else that you have.
And I think we'll do another video down the track, or maybe soonish, where we go through the because I need to find out a way that I can put my phone app screen on, like show it on the live on here, and rather than just do that, but actually incorporate it into the live feed somehow, because we really want to show the the app. The easiest way though, just download the app and have a look through yourself, and it's really, really easy. I think that's it for now, David. I really appreciate your help. Debt is Great says, thanks, David and Joe. Has some great benefits. You're very great. Some great feedback here. Lance says, thanks, David. Love it. I am going to look into it, etc. So I think that's been great. And thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your day. It is now 8:30 in the morning. So you got up nice and early for us, and we really appreciate it. And
I was about 4 hours before the show. So.
Oh my God. All right. Fair enough. You're one of those early birds. Good on you. That is it, David. Thanks so much again. Everyone head over to wealthstack.com, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soonish. And any questions for David,
Thanks,
go to the contact page, and take care, mate. And we'll see you soon.
Take care. Cheers.
All right, we are back here, and that interview is fantastic, funky people. That was David Skea from Wealthstack, wealthstack.com, my brand partner. All right, you've waited long enough. Get your final comments, etc. in. We're going to share the screen, and of course, let's take a look at gold. Gold on the that's the 1 hour time frame. Gold on the daily time frame, priced in USD, $2,450 US. We have been talking about right here. Triple top. I don't think triple tops are really usually a thing. Okay, I don't think they're a thing. So that's what we said yesterday. Here are my biggest scenarios, and we did put these in yesterday, but we got rid of them, so I'll put them in again. So we're right here. We've had this move here. So we've had this move again. 2,470 US dollars has been actually a key bit of resistance right there. I've had that drawn in for a long time. The top end of this purple box and this bottom end is at 2,350. Why those? Because they were two very key Fibonacci levels from old highs and old lows. I said, watch out for 2,470. We have found resistance around about that 3 times. It's failed to close any day above it. So am I going to call it exactly? No, but it's around about right. Okay, but we've had this move here. This is on the daily time frame. Top, double top. It wasn't really a double top because a double top you would see, much lower prices coming. Oh, is it a triple top? Well, the more times you knock on a particular area, the more likely it is to be taken out. So I don't think triple tops are usually a thing. So that's why I say, look, you got to watch out for it. But more than likely, more than a 50% chance, this is just a third test. And then we need to find support here, though. And this is at 2,430. If we hold that as support, then I think it's looking good for a punch through. So my bias at the moment, as I've said, while we're above 2,430 US dollars, which is my final support, my final hurdle for new all-time highs, then we're going to be making new all-time highs in gold imminently. And I'm talking about weeks and not months and months and months. Okay, so it could be days and weeks and not months and months and months. Okay, and yesterday I posited a couple of main scenarios, and here's what they are. Basically, you want to see no lower than 2,430. So you could see from around about here, anywhere down to 2,430, this green line. This is, I think, the most likely scenario. Does it mean I'm right? No. Am I a financial advisor? No. Nothing I say ever on this show is financial advice. Of course not. And just do what you do and dollar cost average, and that's the best way. The most likely is that we find support around here a little bit lower at 2,430. Maybe we test it, and then we bounce off. And I think the next time that we come up to 2,470, it gets broken through. I think the next time we test this uptrend line right here, it gets broken through. And that's at around about your 2,500 US dollar level. And I don't think we'd stop there. We might have a little bit of a tiny consolidation, but I think this time, third time's a charm. That's the first touch. So, second touch, first touch after posting there, second touch, third time's a charm. And I think we sail through. That's my opinion. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But I think round about here, and then there looks like the most likely scenario. I'll give it more than 50% chance. I'm not going to give it, anything more exact than that. However, we do need to watch out for if we break 2,330. This would be the most likely scenario on the downward direction, where we come down here at some point, we close a day below 2,430 US dollars. Then we find support somewhere, we come back up and test it, and then it becomes resistance. And then if that becomes resistance for a couple of days, and then we start heading down, okay? I won't talk about even lower than there because you've got this new support level. So support or down she goes. I've just changed that from 2,350 US dollars, and I've moved it up to 2,380 US dollars. That's my new line in the sand. So ignore 2,350 now. Why? Because of this spike down right here, this consolidation of price, this sort of cluster of pricing around here. And this spike back here. So now that's the new line in the sand. You don't want to see it close below there. Closing below 2,380, then we're probably almost definitely making a play for this uptrend line. And that could hit anywhere down to, say, your 2,300-ish kind of mark, 2,300, 2,310 kind of mark. But again, while we're above 2,430, hey, it's looking positive because I don't think triple tops are a thing. Some people disagree. There's a theory called, someone mentioned this on the Facebook page, there's a theory called GAN theory, G-A-N-N. It's a theory from, it looks like a ye oldie, kind of old school, like 1930s, 1920s kind of theory. Could be 40s or 50s. GAN theory about triple tops. I just don't think they're usually a thing. If it does play out, a triple top, then you'd be absolutely coming down to at least this area right here, or possibly even down to the best buy zone. And the best buy zone is anywhere between 2,250 to 2,150 US dollars per gold ounce. But don't want to do you right there. I just don't think triple tops are usually a thing. That's my bias, is to the upside. We find support around here and then we shoot up. That's just my opinion on gold. But on the 1 hourly time frame, as you can see, we did play out what I thought was going to play out, what I thought was more likely to play out. Remember when the day before yesterday, we were back here in extremely overbought territory on the 1 hour time frame. We tested once, we tested twice this 2,470 area, and we were testing it again. And I did posit, is third time a charm? But look at this 1 hour time frame. We went into extremely overbought. And I said, oh, that's looking peaky. A move down from here wouldn't be surprising. And we've certainly seen a move. And just in the last few hours too, we've seen the 1 hour relative strength index go from extremely overbought to all the way back down to just a few hours ago, extremely oversold. So we've actually hit extremely oversold on the relative strength index already. Gives me pause to think that, this next time we're looking good for the pump rather than the dump. So I'm going out on a limb here and I'm saying more than a 50% chance we see higher prices from here, more than a 50% chance that we break through 2,470 right here. And this is the start of the move all the way up through this trend line above 2,500. We'll make a new all-time high. I think it's probably in at least, what is this, the daily time frame? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So we're coming close to the close of business in a couple of days' time. I would say within the next 7 trading days, I think we'll make a new all-time high in gold. I'm giving you a more than a 50% chance. Am I going to call it 80%? No, just more than a 50%. It feels right to me. I just don't think triple tops are a thing usually. So I think we more likely do that. And that would just bring us at an new all-time high above 2,480 is a new all-time high in gold. So I think that's coming within the next 7 trading days. I'm going to put my butt on the line here. Could I be completely wrong? Yes, of course. But I'm going to go with that. But just watch out for 2,430 as the level you don't want to break through and close below on a daily time frame. Yeah, really don't want to do that, preferably. Okay, that is gold. Let's take a look at silver. Silver is still hovering, $27.60 US cents. We thought we might break out, but it was a failed move. Oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. Bang on it, this downtrend line right here, finding exact resistance at the top end of my best buy zone, which was at 28 US dollars. And we knocked on the door a few times. This is the 4 hour time frame. We knocked on it here. We tried here. No. Tried. No. Tried. No. Trialed. Kind of like 4th failed attempt. Then fast move to the downside. Okay. And then we're still below this downtrend line right here. So silver for me, it's not out of the woods just yet. Okay. We need to break above this uptrend line. And really we need to break above, as I've been saying, 29 US dollars, closing any day above 29 US dollars and holding above 29 tells me that we are back in business, baby. And then we're probably going to be making a play for 31, closing that on the monthly time frame. Any month is my final hurdle to say that we are 100% in a bull market, not 99% where we are now. But right now, we are not out of the woods from breaking even further down and going down to the bottom end of my best buy zone at around about 26 US dollars. And we're not out of the woods from even spiking even as low as 25 US dollars. As you know, you don't want to go any lower than that. Lower than that, that's not good. A little spike down, that's cool if it spikes to $24.30. Right there. If it spikes there, spikes are fine. So long as we close days and weeks above key support levels. And really, you don't want to close any day below that $25.75, $26 level. That's not good. Okay. But spikes are great. But that's where we are. We're not out of the woods for silver at the moment. And that's all you really need to know. Overhead resistance at 29 tells us we're back in business. Clearing here is looking like a positive sign. If we don't clear here and we continue down, then really watch out for that $26, $25, $75 level, even that spike anywhere in this area. That would be, I think personally, a very good buying opportunity for big whale investors, etc. I think a lot of people will be watching that area. Why? As I've been saying, if you're new to the channel, which we've had a bunch of new subscribers overnight, because this is a huge breakout area. Look at that. We broke out of it, and a lot of the time you come back to retest it. And that's very normal. So a breakout and then a retest of this area, so long as it's a quick retest and we don't spend a lot of time there, that's completely fine. Nothing to stress about. But that's why I think a lot of people, a lot of investors may be looking at this area here going, gee, I hope it spikes. I'm going to wait to see if it spikes there. They're probably waiting, and I can't read minds, and now I'm just speculating, right? They're probably waiting for some kind of confirmation either way. A confirmation would be coming down to here. A lot of people, I think, would be buying around about that area. I think you'll see a big spike up, right? If it gets down to there, and people will be, a lot of big whale investors would be looking at confirming a higher prices to come. So confirming maybe back over 29, but definitely a lot of people I think would be watching this $31 area. Why? Well, I'm watching it. Am I a big whale investor? No. But what would I do if I were one? I'm really waiting for this $29 back in business area and the $31 area. So that's why I think a spike down to there, quite possible, but I wouldn't stress about it. Just got to worry if we start closing anywhere down below this downtrend line, below like $25. Yeah, not good. But we're not there, so we're looking good for silver at the moment. I'm still 99% sure we are in a bull market. That is silver and platinum finally. And then we'll get out of here because we've been running quite long with a massively awesome interview with David Skea from Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. Of course, platinum, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. For me, it's still playing out. We found resistance here. We found support here at this uptrend line, and we're still within that range. So while we are below 945 US dollars right here, sorry for the motion sickness, while we're below here, we just made a play for it yesterday. It was a failed attempt to break. Gee, what do you know? This area right here, failed attempt to break it, a fast move to the downside. I am still in the 80 to 90% sure range that we're going to come back and test here. And then if you test it so soon, you're going to break through. So I'm really confident, 80 to 90% confident, could be wrong, that we break down through this very key uptrend line right here. And that we see the best buy zone of anywhere between $900 all the way down to 750 US dollars per platinum ounce hit. It'll go into this area, I'm very sure of it, while we're below 945. It'll go into this area. Where you find support, I don't know. Could be at 870, could be at 840. But this area right here is my best buy zone, best risk to reward. And again, while we're below 945, I'm saying it's coming. Okay. What would negate that? Obviously, closing above 945. If we close above here, and in particular, if we break up back above the long-term downtrend line, this thick yellow line, which goes all the way back to February of 2008, I won't bore you with showing it. We close above there, any day above there, that's going to be an invalidated head and shoulders pattern. That tells me we're not seeing the best buy zone hit, and that tells me we're actually going to see a quick reversal even higher. Okay, so this is the big line in the sand here, and the big trapdoor here to see it, peak above and pop out of. Okay, but we're just in this trading range below 945. I'm confident we see lower prices from here. That's really all it is for platinum. Gold to silver ratio, don't worry about it for now. I'm still confident that silver will outperform gold in the next week or 2 weeks, roughly, because I think we're at quite a high point on the relative strength index on the gold to silver ratio to say that gold is quite overvalued against silver at the moment. I think we break back down here. That's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, and there's nothing else you need to know. All right, people, get your final comments in. And that's it, people. Pete Repeat says he's got to go. Pete Repeat says, have a great day, everyone. Got to go. Catch you tomorrow. See ya, Pete. Lance says, anyone else unable to create an account on Wealthstackers? I am on. Create a password page and then the continue bar won't do anything. Okay. If that's on the desktop app, you could be having issues right there. I don't know. Try it on the phone app is probably the best way to do it. Again, Wealthstack was made for phones mainly. They have a desktop app as the backup, as an extra option. But if that's happening on the phone, just reach out to them, send them a message and just go, hey, I'm having issues. So you can send that to, go to their contact section. Let me show you right here. Share the screen, Joe. Right there. Get the best of both worlds right here. So this is, I'll just show you, wealthstack.com/contact-us, etc. So just go to the contact, or just go to wealthstack.com and then go to the contact us section right there, and you can just type in your issue and that'll go straight to them, and they'll try and help you with any issues you have. If you're trying to log on, if you're trying to sign up for an account, if you're having issues, again, this is a new app they've developed, etc. There might be bugs, so send them a message. Hey, I'm having trouble logging on, I'm having trouble creating an account, etc. Send them a message and they will get back to you. Make sure you've got all your particular correct details, correct email address. Give them a phone number if they can call you as well. If you're happy to give away your phone number, etc., contact them there and I'm sure they will help you. And of course, you're going to be hearing a lot more about Wealthstack, wealthstack.com, because they are my new brand partner. Perth Bullion Exchange, of course, perthbullion.com.au. And I've got to mention them, perthbullion.com.au, Perth Bullion Exchange. Buy physical bullion, coins, bars, etc. from perthbullion.com.au, Australia's first dealer to offer free shipping on all quantity discounts, meaning buy over a certain amount, they'll give you free shipping. Buy a tube of silver coins, you get free shipping. If a tube is 20 or more, you get free shipping. You can mix and match and add 20 or more individual items. As long as you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart, it doesn't matter how many of each, you get instant free shipping from Perth Bullion Exchange. And they also have a really great range of stuff. They get a lot of Scottsdale products in. Ricky at Perth Bullion Exchange is very adamant about having a wide range of stuff that you normally can't get from other dealers. So have lots of, they've got the 1/10 ounce Britannias, they've got the Scottsdale half ounce Lion rounds. They've got a whole bunch of buyback silver at the moment. Right here, you can't see that maybe. Buyback silver for a great price. They've got like 1,500 ounces of buyback silver that they sourced. Your cheap and cheerful stuff, but also your higher premium, really great quality stuff as well. I think they've still got Beskar bars in, the legendary, the Warrior series stuff. Of course, you've got Canadian silver maples, or your staples as well. Again, buy a tube of maples, get a discount because you're buying a tube, and also get free shipping because you're buying a tube. It's just crazy, man. All this stuff. So, and even, all the awesome stuff such as their special for this week is the Scottsdale Prepper 1 gram gold bar right here. And that's for $5 off per bar for the entire week, not just 24 hours like other companies do, for the entire week. This is why they are my preferred physical gold bullion dealer. And they also happen to be one of my clients that I'm teaching them the skills of how to create consistently engaging content. Check out their YouTube page as well. Go to YouTube and type in Perth Bullion Exchange. They've had videos that have had thousands of views already, and they've got, slightly less subscribers than me, 530 subscribers now. They're actually going to beat me really soon in terms of subscribers. But that's their special right there. And of course, for your unallocated gold backed physically 1-to-1 with the debit card coming and physical redemptions coming, etc., head over to wealthstack.com. I think that's pretty much it, people. I've got to go because it's been a long one. Any other questions or anything like that? I don't think so. That's it, people. I'm going to go. The light is fading. It's getting further in the day, but the light is fading.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Thank you so much for watching.
It's podcast time.
Make sure you have your
Grab have a tasty beverage.
And let's do the...
Let's get in the groove.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, do it.
Synchronised, Slurp. Now we're on the move.
Oh, that was well needed. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit the big subscribe button to join the GMS family. I will catch you probably tomorrow, because it'll be a Friday, for the last day of the week. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking, and I will see you tomorrow.